Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming with more Dawn of Man in the village of... Well, it's not a grunt. That's a weird Murloc-y sound. Whatever, the point is we're in the village of Gruntings. We have progressed significantly as a tribe. We are almost prepared to jump into the Neolithic era, and this is where a lot of things start to change, because we cease to be all about the hunter-gathering stuff and start being about domestication. Domestication of crops, domestication of other animals, you name it. All of which, pretty darn good. Turns out, pretty darn good. Alright, so let's see. What else are we looking at right now? Do you want to go hunt some more animals? I see another mammoth! Y'all know that I'm all about the killing of those mammoths these days, especially as long as everybody's got their tools. Is everybody getting armed with bows? We have 14 bows. That means that we should have a lot of hunters. Yes, look at all the hunters. These guys can totally take on a mammoth. Alright. Well, I want him to wander a little bit closer. I don't see a good reason to go charging way after him. By the way, never go hunting right before winter. Your people will be far out, they'll get freaking cold, and they'll die. Just don't do it. Oh no, Gyrek has died of old age. How old is old in these games? I mean, he just plopped over dead. I can't... It just says he's an old man. It will, oh, we're carrying his body away on a sledge. Well, that's actually kind of appropriate. Doesn't tell you how old they get. Do they live to like 50 or something? I mean, it was the prehistoric eras. So I don't know. I feel like they'd probably die at the age of like 28 if you're lucky. But I guess he's considered to be old. And now our very sad sledge driver is comforting herself by praying at the burial mound. Oh, and she's got friends. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you stupid donkeys. You didn't even realize I got an army of hunters ready to go. They actually look kind of more like zebras, I guess. They got the little stripes on the bottom of their legs. They just don't have it on their main body. Also, their manes look a little silly. I can't decide if that's a graphical imitation or because prehistoric donkeys just look silly. Could be both. Tell you another thing, that is a lot of people to go hunt a bunch of wild horses, too. Woohoo, got one of them at least. The rest are galloping like the wind. No, never mind, they're all dead. Hey, well done, guys. You've killed 10 horses. There we go, we have now reached a population of 30. We have so much meat that a lot of it's actually starting to spoil, which is highly unfortunate, but oh well. 30 population, that's 3 more knowledge for me. If we can get 6 more, somehow, we will be able to move on to the next era. What is the best way for me to get more knowledge, do you think? Go to knowledge progress over here. We've already made as much progress as I think we can with regards to things like crafters. We could build some more hearths. One more storage tent would get me another. A couple more burial mounds, sure. Hunt some more ibexes, cave lions. Lots more mouflons. Can't afford that at the moment. Let's see. Wolves. Some bison. More horses. Oryx. Looking for anything easy. Yeah, some more mammoths would be good. There are quite a few things that I would need to kill. I haven't seen a woolly rhino yet, or an elasmotherium, whatever the crud that thing is. But yeah, so there's a lot more that we need to kill. Just go on lots of hunting sprees and stuff, build some more things for reasons unknown, and you'll probably be okay. I guess we can build ourselves another storage tent just because. Here we go, here's an idea. This will be a battle for the ages. I found a pack of lions, and I think I can take them. We're gonna get up here, and we're gonna sneak up on the lions. They're looking at me, but don't be intimidated. We can take him out with our bows. Look at that. Die, you stupid cats! There we go. Okay, someone died, but then we killed some donkeys and got some water, and now we have 16 knowledge, which is more than enough to go for serial domestication, which begins the Neolithic era. Alright, so this is gonna be fun. Now we can start growing some proper farms. Now, one of the first things I think I might want to get is underground mining, just so we have a new close-by source of flint. Thatching would not be bad, so we can start upgrading our housing and stop using those precious hides for houses, and instead can use fibrous materials. Well digging, not a high priority, because we have a good source of water with the river, but this could be helpful. Fortifications. Now that we've reached the Neolithic era, we can find other human civilizations coming to raid us, and that's going to be a major threat, so fortifications can be good in that sense. At the same time, I don't know, is it a high priority when everyone has a bow? I believe in an armed society, so I don't think we need it. Let's see, we could domesticate pulse, which is again good for things like chickpeas and lentils, etc. Flax, very good, because we'll be able to take some flax and turn that into linen. Linen, of course, turning into a new form of clothing, so that could be good. Goat, sheep, and pig domestication. Now, I like sheep domestication a lot because the wool can turn into a new form of heavy clothing, which is good for winter, so we can stop using all of our animal skins on skin clothing. So I want to get this pretty early on, too. Weaving will be necessary to actually turn that cloth into something useful, so that pairs up nicely. Stilting to build bridges so we can stop swimming across the river, and megalithism, which lets us take those giant megalith stones and set them up like Stonehenge for spiritual reasons, because rocks. Now, at the beginning of this series, I alluded to the way you play the game is going to be gradually changing as human society develops, and this is one good example. Now that we have access to crops, we can have good stationary passive growing food sources, and we don't need to hunt anywhere near as often as before. Now, granted, I still have use for things like the bones and the hides, at least for the time being, so we will continue to hunt, but it's not as necessary from a food perspective. Now we want to start growing various cereals and grains. So we have emmer, we have einkorn, and we have barley. We want to grow a variety of things, because you can find yourself in a situation where disease destroys your crops, and if you have too many of the same type next to each other, well, that's just a recipe for a really bad time. So let's try to build up something, I guess, like this should be fine. And just a couple of crops for now. I don't want to go too crazy on that. I am then going to double-click on this, though, so we can select all of the emmer that's in this area and set this to a high priority, so that they will be planting this stuff. Now, in the case of these crops, I think grains you plant during the spring and then harvest in the fall. Eventually, though, once we have access to the pulse domestication, things like chickpeas and lentils and so on, those get planted in the winter and harvested, I think, in the summer, if I'm remembering correctly. So we can actually have kind of a crop rotation going on here where we spend one season planting one type of crop and then another season planting another, then harvesting, etc. It's a pretty efficient way of doing things. This is, by the way, the point of the game when our population should start to grow exponentially, because we're going to have a far more reliable source of food coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and plant down some more houses. It looks like 3 more people actually just joined. That's pretty good for me. We should now be able to build the mortar, which is basically a couple of rocks to crush grain into flour. We will want these. I'll go ahead and place down at least a couple of them over in this direction. I usually like to have at least 3 if possible, but maybe even 4, because we'll need to be grinding up all that grain into proper cereal that we can use to make flour and then bread. And this is a pretty cheap thing to do. Let's just go ahead and have a nice production area set up close to all of our storage tents, of which I have 3 for some reason, but that's fine. And let's also go ahead and start mining some of this stone right here. Make sure that we have a good source. There we go. We have built our first mortar. Okay. And let's see. Right now it is fall. So it's going to be a little while before I can take advantage of any of these crops. So we should continue hunting and building up our food supply, though I have more than enough food at this point in the game. Like, I have not been having any issues whatsoever with that. Still, another thing we can do is start clearing out some trees in anticipation that we are going to want a lot more space for farming and for housing. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the work area here. Not of that. That's the wrong one. There's a... Is this the one I'm looking for? Where's my work area? Can't find it anymore. Whatever. When I find it, I want to increase the number of people that can chop down trees, because I want plenty of logs. Okay, that was another very uneventful winter for us. Let's go for some more knowledge. I think I will go ahead and go for the underground mining first. So now we get to start exploiting deposits. Now, as I said before, this flint deposit right here, I could be deliberately telling it to mine, or I could set up a extraction area right here, and as long as I have picks, the right tools, I can go and gather up some flint. However, what I want to do is go to production and set up a flint mine right here. It's going to cost us some logs, but that's fine. We basically open up a giant chasm deep inside of it, and now we'll be able to extract even more materials out of the flint mine before it is exhausted as a resource. So that could be pretty helpful. Another reliable source of flint for me. Ah, beautiful. Ancient grains, properly domesticated by humans. Soon you shall grow up into lovely golden grains that I shall mash into flour and stuff in my belly. But you can see that we are finishing up, well, actually going into summer right now, so spring just completed. They planted during the spring. Now we see them growing during the summer, and I think by autumn they should be ready for a proper harvest season. And by making these guys a top priority, we are ensuring that we will have plenty of manpower to cull all these crops as soon as they are available. Because otherwise, I don't know, you may not be able to get it done in time. Make sure that you have plenty of sickles, though, because obviously we do want to make sure we have enough tools for the job. Now, we are dealing with our first ever raider attack. Let's see. Ah, it's these 3 folks right here. Look at these adult men and women ready to attack me. They are wearing beautiful linen clothes. I don't have that. They also have bows and an axe. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say, everyone, get a weapon and get ready to attack. So now everyone's going to go running back to their homes. Anyone who doesn't have a weapon, namely the children, are going to hide. The dogs and the people are all ready. So I'm going to let them come swimming over to me until you guys just kind of walk right over here. I want to catch them while they're swimming. Oh, no, they're going to this straight over here. That's fine. Let's go over here. We'll meet them up. Come on, guys. You think that I wasn't ready for you? You were wrong. Guys, get over here and attack. And someone was killed because he had ran in and attacked on his own and everyone left him to die. I guess he wasn't very popular, but okay. So someone's dead. That's unfortunate, but we managed to kill a couple of raiders. We will get to steal their stuff. Well, is it stealing really at that point? I don't really know. Let's go ahead and cancel the alert and let them go back to work. We'll take their bows, we'll take their clothes, we'll take whatever the heck else, and leave their bodies to just rot in the ocean, I guess, and poison the water supply. There we go. A little bit of extra knowledge comes out of all of that. Now we can go for... Do I want to go for the goats? Do I want to go for the stilting? I mean, thatching is nice. It is required for a lot of useful buildings and tech. Not a lot of benefit in getting weaving until I am able to get some wool from domesticated sheep or linen from flax. So I'll hold off on that one. The question is, do I go for domestication? Do I go for the pulse? I think we're okay on food. But what about thatching? Upgrade the housing. So we stop using up skins. I think we're going to go for the goat domestication. Now, goat domestication does not happen automatically like the dogs who just randomly join. Now I need to actually find some goats. That is to say, ibexes. Hello! These look like ibexes to me. Okay, so what we'll do with them is capture, which is to say somebody's going to walk right up and try to tame the young ones. You cannot tame adults. You can only tame the young ibexes. So if we do that, though, we'll have a couple of them, and they will come and join the colony, and we'll be able to use them for milk. And eventually, when they get nice and old and they're otherwise going to die of natural causes anyway, we just slaughter them and enjoy the extra meat and some skins. You can see the taming process is going on right here. Now, one of the things that's always looked really silly to me, it looks like it's trying to reason with the ibex. It's like, this is why you should join our colony. We have a health plan, or something like that. I don't know. But the ibex has somehow ceased to be an ibex and is now a tame domesticated goat. And it should eventually go home. And I have built up a hay bale over here, or a haystack, so as we get straw as a leftover byproduct from harvesting our cereal grains, we'll have plenty of food for our goats. And that is a Basics 101 into the domestication of animals in the prehistoric era. The thing that really confuses me on top of trying to reason with animals is the adults don't seem to really care if you try to tame them. I mean, you can do this to wolves. Find a pack of wolves and the adults will just stand there watching you while you tame their child and take him away. Is this a little weird? But I mean, okay, let's roll with it. Sheep domestication technology. This would be very nice to have, but it's going to cost me a lot. 300. No, I don't think I can really justify that as much as I would like to. That sucks. All right, no, it's fine, it's fine. Just go about with your beautiful technology, knowing how to domesticate sheeps and things. I'll figure it out on my own eventually. I don't even have stable space right now anyway, so who cares? Ah, wonderful. It is now harvest season, so all of our people are going to get to work because I made these top priorities, but now we have lots of grain and straw coming in. Perfect. Look at all these beautiful crops getting harvested. Told you they turn gold color. All right, so once that's all done, all the grain is going to be taken over here to these mortars, of which I now have 4 at high priority working, turning everything into flour. And that flour will then get taken over to the hearth and turned into bread. So we have a whole new food source that we can use for the rest of the game. Slaughtered a few more bears, get some knowledge. What can I do next? Let's go ahead and learn the thatching now, because I've realized I don't actually have the ability to build a stable. So that means that our animals will likely freeze to death during winter, so we need to get the thatching up and running. That's going to unlock a whole bunch of different types of buildings, including the stables like so. Now that takes some logs, some sticks, a new resource called mud, and some straw, which is a byproduct of all the farming we've already been doing. So I need to collect myself some mud, and that is a new gathering area along the river right over here. And just like the fish, unfortunately, the mud will gradually start to run out until it has a chance to regenerate. So we will need to be careful with that. It's very common that I find myself getting all the mud out of the river and then being like, why can't I build anything? It's like, because there's no mud left in the river. That doesn't make sense. It's a river. It doesn't have to make sense. It's a game. Yeah, that's kind of how that's going to work for us. But yes, so let's go ahead and gather up plenty of mud. I should make sure that you guys have a couple of people assigned over here as well, since we have plenty of idle workers. There we go. I want to make sure we increase that mud capacity to, like, I don't know, 30 or something. That's probably okay. And then, if we go to build a stable, let's go ahead and place one right over, I guess here is fine. Sure, let's go ahead and build a stable right over there. So that's going to take those resources, but it will give our animals a place to stay, and we don't have a lot of time left before winter, so I'm hoping we can get this done nice and quick. Okay, winter has officially begun, but we should have enough straw and mud if you guys can go quick. Now, the animals are free to wander around pretty much whenever they want to during the warmer months, but during the winter, they all go into the stable, and the stable does have a capacity to how many animals it can handle, so if you find yourself with too many animals, you'll be in a little bit of trouble. But while they are in the stable, they will need people to bring them a source of food, and that is going to be straw for the most part, and water, which is one of the reasons gathering water can be so important. If you want to reduce travel time, maybe build a well close to the stables, and that would also be good. There we go, stable is done, so all of our goats should head on in here, and they'll be nice and safe during the cold months. Love it. Oh, good, we're getting all sorts of knowledge all of a sudden. Perfect. All right, so what do we want next? Sheep? I'm thinking we may want to go for the sheep just so I can domesticate a few and try to get some wool. If I can get wool, that's a very good source of heavy clothing, so I don't have to keep using up all these animal skins, of which I have used many to make outfits, so we'll have a better resource for the cold months. Now, if we have the ability to do that, where the heck can I find myself some sheepies? Those aren't sheepies. These are pigs. Don't care about them. These are ibexes. Don't care about them. We're looking for the other critter. What was it called? Monroe? Something like that? I don't know. That's the one that turns into sheep. It's a little confusing because it's totally not a sheep, but then once you tame it, it turns into a sheep. But I don't see any because it's really freaking cold out here. So I guess they're all hibernating. Because sheep hibernate, right? No storage slots left. Well, you know, one thing we could do is go to a new storage building we just unlocked called the Granary, which is specifically built to preserve all manner of food. So I will be placing a granary, let's say, right over here. Fairly central location, easily accessed. And then we'll tell our storage tents no longer to store any type of food, so everything goes here into a dedicated type of building. Notice, by the way, the architecture here looks very different. At some point, I'll start upgrading our houses into thatched homes as well, and they will all start looking like this, so our civilization will look a little bit more advanced than it did before. Now, I could start upgrading these guys now, but I don't really want to. What I probably will do instead is wait till some of them start to decay naturally, and instead of using the sticks and the skins to repair them, we'll just go ahead and tell them to upgrade at that time. But for now, they're still perfectly serviceable. All right, there goes the granary being finished, almost done, and boom. Okay, so now we have dedicated storage for all of our food needs. We're going to go to our storage tents and say you are no longer allowed to store any of the food, which is going to free up a load more storage. We could also upgrade these guys as well, which makes them better at preserving resources, I think, and we might want to do that. We'll see. Let's see, an average commission. Okay, average commission for technology. Now we're starting to look interesting. This is something I would like to get. 280 is what they say. Okay, I could trade away a bunch of bows. I mean, bows are worth a lot, so that could be worthwhile. We should also get rid of things that I'm not going to be using in the future. For example, I probably don't need these bone spears for much longer because I'm going to get flint spears pretty soon. I don't want to get rid of all of them, but I want to get rid of some of them. We also probably don't need these bone knives. And again, because this is an outdated technology, they will be going down in value, so getting rid of some of them now is a perfectly viable thing to do. That said, maybe I keep a few more spears and get rid of some of the bone sickles instead. I got flint sickles on the way as well. Okay, so this is going to give me a technology, so I don't have to worry about getting as much knowledge, and now I will be able to start turning our cloth into proper clothes. Now, I don't have any cloth yet, but again, hey, when you see an opportunity, I say you take it. Gonna run up here and try taming a few more of the young ibexes and turn them into goats as well, by the way. Your animals can breed. So if you get some males and some females together, then yeah, you're gonna have a renewable source of animals. I mean, yeah, you'll have to feed them and stuff, but that's perfectly fine. Do be careful not to get too many males and not enough females, or I guess you could flip it around and have too many females and not enough males, and then your last male dies, and suddenly you can't breed. I don't know. I mean, some people would probably recommend that you actually, like, take a look at their gender and slaughter the ones you don't want in order to promote the most breeding possible. And I think that's perfectly valid. We'll pay attention to it, though, but I'm not going to go out of my way to create a proper breeding program. Now, these houses have already started to deteriorate, so rather than use up the dry skins, I'm going to go ahead and tell them to dismantle and upgrade into a hut. That's going to take some more of our thatched straw, it's going to take some more mud, and so on, but at least we'll have slightly improved housing. Just like that. Look at these things. Ah, they look great. This is the sort of thing that I've actually seen, like, some guides as to how to build, like, if you ever find yourself in a survival situation. Kind of cool, really. You build the proper structure, then you fill a lot of the stuff up with mud, and then you thatch it up on top. Or use giant palm leaves or something. I don't know, whatever you've got. Works pretty well, though. Look at that. Nice. So soon all of our village will effectively look like this. I guess we can go ahead and build up the Weaver and the Outfitter. I mean, again, I'm not using them at the moment, but that doesn't mean that I can't just go ahead and start being a little bit proactive, am I right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to rotate you around. Let's place, I guess, one right here should be fine. That was an invalid location, apparently. Weird. I thought it was fine. Okay, maybe not. Sure, one right here should be fine. And then the Outfitter, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of a weird incline here. I can place one right here, though. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, now we're going to have to demolish a couple of our strawberry bushes to make that work, but again, we should be okay on food. Well, I say should. This isn't looking particularly good to me, is it? Maybe we don't have enough farms. Maybe we should just go ahead and build up another one. Probably time to go ahead and start growing up, let's say, some barley. And we'll place down a nice little crop right here. And when the next season comes around, we'll do that. But since we're looking a little lower on food, I'm going to go grab a whole frickin' ton of animals right here, and there are so many right here, it's ridiculous, and say, hunt them all! Oh yeah, we also now have some more knowledge. What should we do with that? Pigs, not a high priority to me right now. Pulse domestication would be okay. I would like to get the stilting, though, just so we can also get across the rivers quickly. I think we'll go for the pulse for now, just so we'll have another source of food if we want. Lentils are pretty darn nutritious. I'm just going to go ahead and place a farm down over here somewhere, and we'll start growing a few more. Uh-oh, we got a disease affecting our crops. Darn it. All right, not what I wanted to see, especially as we're heading into harvest time. If we can harvest quickly, we might be able to salvage some of this at least, but that could become a very big problem from a food perspective. Yeah, so this is again why you don't want to have too many of the same crops close together, otherwise the disease can absolutely ravage your ability to produce. So yeah, a bit of diversity can be very good in that sense. These wolves are wandering right into my camp, and I don't like that, so we are going to start murdering all of them because they're attacking my people. Okay, can you guys, like, actually just go kill the wolves right now? They're in the base. They are walking in the base with impunity. I don't like that, so kill them. Oh, somebody got struck by lightning. Oh, Mara, you okay? Oh, she's dead. Well, no, she's not okay then. I wasn't sure if lightning always killed or not, but I guess that's definitive proof that, yeah, it absolutely can kill you, which makes sense. It's freaking lightning, but there you go. That kind of sucked. Trader, you got anything I want? Well, you do have the flax domestication, which, again, very good for me. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of tools that I am willing to part with at this stage. Ooh, no, there's really not. That sucks. I really want to get this, but no, I just don't have quite enough tools. Our crafters have not been working overtime, it seems. I usually have a lot more bows and stuff than this, but part of the problem is we just don't have a whole lot of dry skins because I've been using a lot of them up. So this is one more reason why I don't want to repair these tents using that stuff. I want to quickly get those skins back so I can use them for other things, but we need to keep hunting. Keep hunting. Don't stop murdering animals. There's some. Get them. Looks like a couple more people joined up with the colony, but I don't have all my housing done because we're currently dismantling some of these houses to replace. Bad timing, considering it's freaking winter and super duper cold and stuff, but that's fine. I'm sure people will be willing to let you snuggle up a little bit closer than usual. It's only temporary, right? Okay, well, grand. So we are hunting some more stuff. We're trying to get more materials. We have the lentils planted, it looks like. So we should be growing up some new crops. I did set up another one over here. So we have lentils, peas, barley, emmer, and einkorn. which seems perfectly good to me. So these huts will be finishing up pretty soon. We have survived yet another winter, and I have made 100 outfits. We got a lot of knowledge. What should we spend it on? Of course, the flax domestication, so now I can get some proper fibers, turn those into linen, and then we will be able to grow our own clothes rather than try to hunt for it all the dang time. So let's actually go to the right button. Come on, where is it? Go to planting and set up a flax crop. Where do I want this? For now, I guess I'll place it over here. Eventually, I'm probably going to want to move all these crops across the river somewhere else, because I want to wall this area off with palisades and turn it into one fortified village, because raiders are going to be getting progressively more and more dangerous as the game goes on, so I would like to do that. Let's make sure that these flax are considered to be a high priority here as well. But not going to be able to do that right away. Can't really afford the palisades. So for now, I'm okay with the crops being closer to home rather than anything else. That still seems reasonable for the time being, but soon enough, no. Let's go to Neo Farmer, by the way, and get our milestone. There we go. Another little picture. You can see how we are indeed evolving. It's so nice. And by the way, those lentils and peas just came out of frickin' nowhere. Kaboom. All right, well, that's 2 more knowledge. 1 more. And I'll be able to unlock things like the stilting for some proper bridges so we can move around a heck of a lot faster. I would like to get my megalith stuff done so we can get better morale. Certainly seems like a lot of people are feeling a little bit disenfranchised or something. I don't really know what's wrong with you guys. But we'll build another totem just so that they can have another place to worship, because I'm pretty sure that these guys have a cooldown and only can service so many at a time. Pretty sure that that's what's going on. Let's go ahead and replace this storage tent as well. So building more of those should make things a little bit easier. Here comes one more trader. Let's see what they've got. No new tech that I would care about. Okay. Could buy things like some cheap flour and turn that into bread. That's fine, I guess. Dry skins, I kind of would like more, but I'm not sure I can justify it. If I want to get rid of some of my bone sickles, we could get some. Yes, we could do a little bit. And then I'll also get, let's say, the bread and maybe a little extra straw. Not that much. There we go. Getting rid of some old tools in order to get some value out of them before they become worthless. And we're being attacked by raiders. Sound the alarm! Everyone run for your lives! Get a weapon! Doggo, don't you dare get over there! Oh gosh, they're gonna frickin' be nuts, aren't they? Okay, you guys, get over here. Get ready, because we're about to be under attack. This time, don't let one of you guys run it at once. Everyone, charge! There we go. Oh, gosh dang it, Kara got killed anyway. Well, we did get some free knowledge out of that, and now I'm going to go ahead and grab the stilting so we can build bridges and try to control those a little bit better. But that was unfortunate. That didn't need to happen. No one needed to die. But oh well. Thank you for defending the village, though, and thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.